Let's go. Let's hear it, NBC.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say, when in the past, when President Obama tried to use executive action as it related to immigration, you said the whole concept of executive order, it's not the way the country's supposed to be run. You said you're supposed to go through Congress and make a deal. Will you concede that you were unable to make the deal that you had promised in the past, and that the deal you're ending up with now from Congress is less than what you could have had before a 35-day shutdown?
I went through Congress. I made a deal. I got almost $1.4 billion when I wasn't supposed to get $1. Not $1. He's not going to get $1. Well, I got $1.4 billion, but I'm not happy with it. I also got billions and billions of dollars for other things. Port of entries, lots of different things. The purchase of drug equipment, more than we were even requesting. In fact, the primary fight was on the wall. Everything else, we have so much, as I said, I don't know what to do with it. We have so much money. But on the wall, they skimped. So I was successful in that sense, but I want to do it faster. I could do the wall over a longer period of time. I didn't need to do this, but I'd rather do it much faster. And I don't have to do it for the election. I've already done a lot of wall for the election, 2020. And the only reason we're up here talking about this is because of the election, because they want to try and win an election which it looks like they're not going to be able to do. And this is one of the ways they think they can possibly win, is by obstruction and a lot of other nonsense. And I think that I just want to get it done faster, that's all.
That was Trump effectively admitting during today's press conference in the Rose Garden that the only reason he opted to declare a national emergency was simply because he wanted to do it faster. Not because he was acting on the merits of the emergency, but that he didn't want to go through the process. And that process, the legal and democratic process, already showed that he didn't have the support to allocate funds for a wasteful and unpopular border wall. I will concede that there are some people who are grateful for the admission. The lawyers for the Democrats just had their entire argument handed to them in a televised press conference. And in terms of the deal that Trump's bragging about, here's how that went. He initially requested $25 billion for the wall. He didn't get that. Then he wanted $5.7 billion. Instead, he was offered $1.3 for border fencing and security. He didn't want it, so he shut down the government for 35 days, put 800,000 people out of work, and tanked his already flailing approval rating. And now we'll sign a bill for, wait for it, $1.3 billion for border security and fencing. So to be clear, the world's best negotiator just had to go around a Congress that his own party controlled for the last 2 years to get funding for something that Mexico was supposed to pay for and still is likely to get overruled in court. Art of the deal, folks. Now, to be fair, Trump might be desperate, but I wouldn't say he's lost his mind.
So the order is signed, and I'll sign the final papers as soon as I get into the Oval Office, and we will have a national emergency, and we will then be sued, and they will sue us in the Ninth Circuit, even though it shouldn't be there, and we will possibly get a bad ruling, and then we'll get another bad ruling, and then we'll end up in the Supreme Court, and hopefully we'll get a fair shake, and we'll win in the Supreme Court, just like the ban. They sued us in the Ninth Circuit, and we lost, and then we lost in the appellate division, and then we went to the Supreme Court, and we won.
Yeah, he's losing it. So here's Trump acknowledging that his bogus emergency declaration will be challenged in the courts, and he's certain that he'll prevail, which is interesting considering he'd already undermined his entire argument for the national emergency in this very same press conference.
Just to follow up on that, unifying crime reporting statistics, numbers from your own Border Patrol, numbers from this government show that the amount of illegal immigrants are down. There is not violence on the border. And that
there's
most
violence on the
there's
border?
not as much violence
really?
as. Wait a
minute.
26
people.
Let me finish the
killed.
question, please. Let me finish the question.
2 weeks ago, 26 people were killed in a gunfight on the border.
I understand what you're
saying. A mile away from where I went.
I was there. I understand. That's not the question. The question is.
Do we forget about that?
No, I'm not forgetting about it. I'm asking you to clarify where you get your numbers, because most of the DEA crimes reporting statistics that we see show that drugs are coming across at the ports of entry, that illegal immigration is down, and the violence is down. Okay. So what do you base your facts on?
Come on, let's go.
Secondly...
No, you get one. You get one.
Well, the second
Just
question
sit down.
is...
Wait, sit down. Sit down.
Could you please answer
Sit down. You get one question. I
please.
get my numbers from a lot of sources, like Homeland Security, primarily, And the numbers that I have from Homeland Security are a disaster. And you know what else is a disaster? The numbers that come out of Homeland Security, Kirsten, for the cost that we spend and the money that we lose because of illegal immigration. Billions and billions of dollars a month. Billions and billions of dollars. And it's unnecessary.
So your own government stats are wrong, are you saying?
No, I use many stats.
Could you share those stats with us?
Let me tell you, you have stats that are far worse than the ones that I use. But I use many stats, but I also use Homeland Security.
Trump might think that statistics are subjective, but there are only one set of facts surrounding illegal immigration and apprehensions at the southern border. And they clearly show that over the course of the last few decades, apprehensions at the southern border have plummeted, and last year hit a 46-year low, a fact that Trump himself bragged about on Twitter.
And when I asked President Xi, I said, do you have a drug problem?
He's not going to mock the accents of the Chinese president.
I said, do you have a drug problem? No, no, no. I said, you have 1.4 billion people. What do you mean you have no drug problem? No, we don't have a drug problem. I said, why? Death penalty. We give death penalty to people that sell drugs.
Okay, mock the accent of the Chinese president. Also gonna cruise right past the part where Trump gave a tacit endorsement to using the death penalty for drug users. Weed is now illegal in half the country, while Trump is signaling support for the state-sponsored killing of people who use drugs. And so now Trump's national emergency is onto the courts, where Democrats will make good use of their star witness.
I didn't need to do this, but I'd rather do it much faster.